Is this recording? Hopefully that's good. Hey fellow fiction fanatics, I'm Chase. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my monthly wrap-up for December. So in December I was able to read 9 books, and I actually gave 5 stars to all of them except 1. So I'm just going to exclude that part of the videos going forward. Alright, let's get into it. The first book I was able to read was Dark Days by Derek Landy. This is the 4th book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. And in this book, Valkyrie has to get Skullduggery back, and once she does, they have to face a lot of their past enemies all at once. I always love the interactions with Valkyrie's parents. They are just so charming and funny. I enjoyed this book immensely. I loved the action, and I loved all the twists and turns throughout this book. I think this series is hilarious. I am constantly laughing at the comebacks, the one-liners, and the banter between the characters. It is just so good. Davina Marr, I hated that woman. She was just awful. And I did not like the Necromancer's savior, the Deathbringer. Yeah, great name. Totally not someone who's going to end the world. Yeah, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Also, the remnants are terrifying. I always forget how graphic and violent these books can be because they're just so fun and lighthearted and feels like more of a middle grade-esque story. And then there was that one scene with the rat. Rat plus hair equals a big nope from me. I could, no. I was, ugh. And holy crap, that ending, I was not expecting that twist. It was just mind-boggling, and I cannot wait to pick up the 5th book very soon. This completed my challenge to read a book with a 2-word title. The 2nd book I was able to read was The Midwinter Witch by Molly Knox Ostertag. So in this book, Ariel and Aster head to the Midwinter Festival, which is essentially a family reunion for all of Aster's family. It also includes a magical competition in both witchery and shape-shifting. I love the artwork in this graphic novel, and in this book we not only get to learn more about Aster and Ariel's families, but we get to see how their magic differs. I especially loved the familial relationships in this book, specifically the sibling relationships. I just thought they were so great. And I loved seeing the acceptance of who these characters really are. These books are captivating, wholesome, heartfelt, magical, and fun. What more could you ask for? The 3rd book I was able to read was You Are Home by Katana Chetwin. This is a collection of comic strips about a short girl and her bearded boyfriend. It is just hilarious and sweet, and I really enjoy these comics. These comics just remind me of my husband and they just always seem to put a smile on my face. The only thing I could say that I dislike about this book, I wish they'd chosen a different color for the cover, just because it's so similar to Little Moments of Love. I think they should have chosen, instead of like a burgundy red, a blue or a purple. That way the books don't look so similar, and I'm just not the biggest fan of red, so I would have chosen a different color, but that's the only thing I could say that I disliked about this book. The 4th book I was able to read was The Power of 6 by Pittacus Lore. So this book follows the events of I Am Number 4, which is the 1st book in the series, and without any spoilers, John, Six, and Sam are now on the run. I thought the new characters were great, especially Marina and Ella. I thought Ella was so adorable. For some reason, she reminds me of Boo from Monsters, Inc., and I just absolutely loved her. To talk about the things I disliked about this book, I'm going to go into a few spoilers here, so wait till this goes away if you don't want to hear it. So although this is a reread for me, I did not remember that there was a love square thing going on between John, Six, Sam, and Sarah. I had completely forgot about that, and I'm really not sure how I feel about it. Also, another thing I completely forgot about was Sarah's betrayal. Like, I could not believe that she did that. Or the fact that the guys just abandoned Six. They didn't mean to, but that's what they ended up doing. Although I am really excited that 9 is joining the team, I'm just like, what's going on with 6? I need to know about that. Also, I really didn't like how Adelina treated Marina. Also, why does every Sapan have to die? Like, come on. We need an adult mentor somewhere. But this book not only completed my buzzword challenge for December, which was to read a book with a number in the title, it also completed my Roll For It challenge. The 5th book I was able to read was The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. After a shipping accident, a single robot is left on an island inhabited only by animals. So this is a story about adapting, motherhood, helping others, and friendship. This book, having such short chapters, made this such a quick read, and I actually really enjoyed this story. It's definitely a middle grade, but I think it's a perfect read to read alongside a child. This book was so enjoyable and sweet. I just wanted to read it to my younger cousin. And I'm kind of sad that I don't have the 2nd book right away, but I will definitely be picking that up in the future. And this completed my challenge to read a book with a non-human character. The 6th book I was able to read was Princess Academy by Shannon Hale. So Miri lives in a small village that's only known for the stone that they quarry. One day the king's priests divine that the next princess will come from their small village. And because of this, all the eligible girls will have to go to the Princess Academy to be trained to be the next princess. So in 1 year, the prince will come to choose his bride. This book is very character driven, but in the best of ways. I loved seeing the rivalry turn into camaraderie between these girls, and that they use what they learn to help their small village. And there's just a hint of magic that really just adds to the story and made me enjoy it even more. This was such a sweet, fun read that I was delighted to pick up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the trilogy plays out. But oh my gosh, that scene with the rat. I could never. I think I would literally have a heart attack and die. So that was just a big no from me. But other than that, I really love this story and I'm glad that I picked it up. And this completed my challenge to read a backlist book. And then the 7th book I was able to read was Night of Cake and Puppets by Laini Taylor. This is the story of how Zuzana and Mick got together. These are 2 of my favorite characters from the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. So Zuzana gives Mick a treasure map, and the treasure is herself. So this book is literally dedicated to kissing, which I thought was fantastic. I just love the dynamics between these characters and how we know how they feel, but they're completely unsure how the other person will react to them expressing how they feel, is one of my favorite things. So one reason I wanted a 4th book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy is because I wanted more of Zuzana and Mick. So I'm happy that we have this book, but I wish we still had more because I love them so much. The 8th book I was able to read was The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. So this is a compilation of letters written from Screwtape to his nephew Wormwood, who is an apprentice devil who is in need of some advice. The writing was just so dull. I get that it was written in the 1940s, but it was really hard to get through. It just seemed to drag on, and I was like, just get to the point. So then I tried to listen to the audiobook while reading along, and I was still struggling. And it's only a 4-hour audiobook. I think if we'd had Wormwood's perspective along with Screwtape, that would have made it more appealing and would have added to the story. I did think the last couple of chapters were intriguing, so this is actually one of my mom's favorite books, and unfortunately, it just wasn't for me, and I don't think I'll pick this up again. So this was the one book that I didn't give 5 stars, and I instead gave it 3 stars. I gave it that rating because, although it wasn't my cup of tea, I do think the message is important. I can see how people would enjoy this story. I just really didn't like the writing. That was my biggest pet peeve. And the 9th and final book that I was able to read in December, Spy Family Volume 4. So this series is about Agent Twilight, who for his next mission has to create a fake family. So he's a spy, his new wife is actually an assassin, and his adopted daughter can read minds. And they've all kept this a secret from each other. And in this book, little Anya gets a dog. I love the adorable antics that these characters get into. This is such a fun, fast read that I fly through, and I've enjoyed this manga immensely. And I would definitely recommend picking it up if you have the chance. So those are all the books that I was able to read in December. I'd love to know some books that you were able to read, so let me know down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share the love. I'll see you next time. Bye!